Hello and welcome back, Realty Pros. Thank you so much for joining us for our last Mastermind training session for 2024. We are excited as we always are because when we have our broker who is willing and able to take time to share with us, the information that we gather is always extremely valuable. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to turn it over to Mrs. Porter, Mrs. Jasmine Porter, and want to thank everyone for joining us this evening and to Mrs. Porter for taking the time with us this evening.
Good evening, Realty Pros. We are so excited that you guys could join us this evening. Are we being recorded? Perfect. I see the AI is recording. I want to make sure we have it too. Outstanding. Well, we are absolutely excited to have you guys here with us this evening. As you know, this is our very last mastermind for 2024. The next time we see you guys in this type of setting will be in the whole new year in 2025. So we wanted to make sure that we closed out the year right. And for those that were able to join us on Realty Talks today, that was great. And I'm going to tell you, it was the end of it that was on fire. All of it was really good, but the end of it, where you had Kermon then leading into Mr. Porter, they just took the cake. So when you get an opportunity, absolutely go back and look at that video. But I wanted to just have a moment with each and every last one of us before the new year so that we could hit the ground running in 2025. I said both Kermon and Mr. Porter both were in my notes because when Kermon started talking about, it is a lot more difficult to go from standing still to a sprint than it is from going from a jog into a sprint. And that is the purpose of our mastermind this evening, to get us to a place where we are jogging or doing at least a moderate run so that we can sprint into the new year. In reflecting on 2024, guys, this year has been a good year. We are looking to an outstanding year for 2025. When we look at the market, if you have not heard Mr. Porter and myself, you need to take note because we believe that 2025 is going to be record-breaking for all of your businesses, and we are absolutely believing that for you. One of the things that you'll hear us say oftentimes is seed time and harvest. And we know that that comes from the word that says, as long as the earth remains, there will be seed time and harvest. And for all of our realty pros who have sown, who have been consistent, who have labored, and who have been consistently prospecting this year, we are declaring that 2025 is going to be the season of harvest for every last Porterhouse Realty Pro. So as you plug into everything that's going on in this market, your business is definitely going to benefit as a result. So we want you guys to be ahead of the curve with everything that's going on in 2025. Like I said, plug in so that you are aware of all of the updates as they come, so that you are postured to just make a tremendous gain in this market that we're leading into. All right. One of the things that I'll say is our business plans. You heard Anita mention it earlier, but your business plans are up in the BrokerMint library. And I'm going to go through just a piece of that with us this evening. But there's an activity that we're going to do. So this evening is going to be very active. And what I want you to do is, if you don't already have something to write on or a phone or something that you can take notes in, I want you to pull out something that you can write on, because this is definitely going to be interactive and I want to get your guys' feedback. But before we do, I'm going to share a video with you guys so that you can see the inspiration from where we're going to start. All right, so you guys should be able to see my screen and hear my video. I'm going to rewind this for us. Let me know if you can see my screen. Give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Okay, perfect. I see a thumbs up there. Excellent. I'm going to reshare that with us. Let's see if this thing seems to be giving me a challenge. I'm gonna try it one more time. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go ahead and articulate it. All right, so I'm just gonna go over the information that's in the video because it was so impactful to me. There we are. All right, let's try this again.
And usually this will jump out at you. Put a circle around that goal. And that's a goal you transfer to a clean sheet of paper, and then you follow the 7
Hold on, let me see if I can
steps.
get this to
Write it
start up.
down, set a deadline, make a list of everything you have to do to accomplish it, organize the list into a checklist, take action, and then do something every day. If you'll just do this, nothing can stop you but from now on, whenever you bring on a new person, put them through this exercise. If they will not go through this exercise, do not waste a minute of your time with them, because they will never be successful if they won't follow your guidance. Here's the exercise. Take a clean sheet of paper and write down goals and today's date, and then write down 10 goals that you would like to accomplish in the next 12 months, and write them in the present tense. I earn, I achieve, I weigh, I drive such and such a car, I own. And then you take this list of 10 and you say, if I had a magic wand and I could wave this magic wand and I could have any one goal on my list within 24 hours, which one goal would have the greatest positive impact on my life? And usually this will jump out at you. Put a circle around that goal. And that's a goal you transfer to a clean sheet of paper, and then you follow the 7 steps. Write it down, set a deadline, make a list of everything you have to do to accomplish it, organize the list into a checklist, take action, and then do something every day. If you'll just do this, nothing can stop you but...
So I'm gonna stop that for now. I hope you guys could hear that video, and I will just reiterate just how simple yet powerful the nugget was in that video. And it's going to be imperative for us as we go into our business planning. The idea in that video, just so that we can be all, have a concise understanding of what was happening there, is as you look forward to your 2025, the goal is for you to take a clean sheet of paper and write down 10 goals for 2025 in the affirmative, in the present tense, in the I do, in the I have, in the I weigh, in the I attend, in the I earn, so that those are affirmative goals that you've written out. Once you write down those 10 goals for 2025, I want you to take a moment and look at that sheet of paper, and it will become obvious to you which of those 10 will have the most positive impact on your life if you achieve that one goal. From there, we're going to go through our SMART goal action planner with those, of course, writing it down, making it specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound, and then we're going to write down the steps that we need in order to get there. But first and foremost, I want you guys to go ahead and pull out a piece of paper, and we're going to begin with this activity. And as you begin writing down your goals, if you have any thoughts or anything that you've gleaned from that information just in this short period of time, you can drop it in the chat or come off of mute, because I want to make sure that everybody is fully engaged. The purpose of this is that we are going to hit the ground running in 2025 versus waiting until January the 2nd in order to figure out which way we're going to go. We're going to start now so that you guys will thrive in 2025. All right. I'm going to ask you, if you have a sheet of paper or something in your notes and you've already started, I need to see you give a thumbs up or drop something in the chat, because we want to have 100% participation, because this is going to be transformative to your business and transformative to your lives. Excellent. I see you, Faye. Perfect. What about everybody else? I see your message, Faith. We want to have full participation. That's how you're going to maximize what you get out of the training this evening. I see you, Paula. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you understood. Hello, Marcus. Thumbs up to make sure that you understood. Unmute and ask questions if you have any questions. And then once you get to that one goal that will have the single most positive impact on your life, I want you guys to come off of mute and share that one goal. And welcome to you. I'll go ahead and let you know what we're doing too while everybody else is working on it. So our activity for right now, what we're doing is think about a list of 10 goals or 10 things that you would like to accomplish in 2025. And of those 10 things, you want to choose one, the one that would have the single most positive impact on your life if you achieve that goal in 2025. And once you get to that one, then you're going to share it with us. I see your message, Patricia. Thank you for letting us know. You be safe. All right. What about everybody else? I want to hear from you guys. Paulette, I see you, but I can't hear you. Does anybody have any questions about the activity? All right. While you guys are doing the activity, I just want to share something with you that you heard me say as we began. We talked about a scripture that we reference all the time. As long as the earth remains, there will be seed time and harvest. And for all of you this year, you have sown. You have been faithful. For all of you who've been prospecting and diligent, you've been attending trainings, having conversations with people, regrouping, resetting after setbacks, picking yourselves up after you've had challenges and faced obstacles and transactions. Some of those transactions closed, some of those transactions didn't close, but yet here you are, and you remained consistent. Had goals for 2024, and some of you had goals that maybe you didn't achieve, but yet here you are. You remain fixed and stable and consistent. All of those things are seeds that you have sown. And we are moving forward into our season of harvest. I know we had a number of people that have joined since I began with that, but I want you to know kind of our springboard and where we're starting from so that you know exactly where we're going in 2025. It will absolutely be a season of harvest for Porterhouse and for our agents, and we are absolutely believing that for every last one of you. So we want to help you to hit the ground running in 2025. One of the ways that we have to help you is to make sure that you have clarity in terms of what takes priority, because we oftentimes have so many different things to do. And you say, well, how do I choose which one of them I do? If there's so many different things that would be good for me to do, how do I focus on one specific thing? So that's what our goal is in our activity this evening, helping you to focus. As you know, Mr. Porter said, focus, follow one course until successful. So we're looking for that one thing. If you achieve that one thing that would have the greatest positive impact on your life, what would that one thing be? All right, now I want you guys to come off of mute because some of you should have had the opportunity to come up with that one thing. All right, so let's see. Faith, we'll start with you. Come off of mute, and if you would, you can share that one thing. If you want to talk about a couple of other goals that you had to choose between, if you let us know also why that one thing would have the greatest positive impact on your life.
Well. Okay. Um. The one thing this coming year is to. Okay. So, my one thing that I said, and okay, so I'm gonna focus on real estate because I wrote a lot more than just real estate. But so my one thing in really, where am I? Hold on. Uh. Uh. So I said my real estate business is closing 2 transactions a month. That was
Outstanding.
my one thing. And I had the same goal last year. And this is something that I had actually put into play. And by I think February or March, I had I did have a list of clients that was going to make that reality come true. And I think I just got discouraged somewhere in between the year, and and then I just kind of walked away. Just didn't come back. So my one thing to this year is to stick to the plan, no matter what.
Outstanding. Thank you for sharing that, Faith. Who would like to go next? Share with us the one thing, and it is as it pertains to real estate, but just one thing in general, that if you achieve that, it would have the greatest positive impact on your life. And if you haven't had a chance to write it down, then go ahead. If you're brainstorming, you can write it down later, but share it with us. Let's see, Paulette. Or Talita. Talita, I see you've unmuted yourself. Come on and share.
The one thing that I want to do this year is master cold calling. That is kind of stumbling block for me right now. But that's the one thing I want to do, to cold call and get clients that way.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you for sharing. And if you can, drop it in the chat as long as you're not driving or anything, because what I want us to do is, for everybody who's on the call this evening, I want to help to hold you guys accountable to that one thing, and we're going to help each other, okay? So drop your one thing in the chat, and I'm going to have you guys to send it over to me too, but we're going to meet for business planning and all of that good stuff. But this is so as to give you a good start to 2025. So I've heard closing 2 transactions a month. I've heard mastering cold calling. All right, let's see who'd like to go next. And Paula, I heard that yours was purchasing an investment property. All right, let's see. Marcus, would you like to share yours? If you've had a chance to get to it just yet? Okay.
I can go if he's not ready.
Go ahead, Paula, and then Marcus can
So
go.
it's not just purchasing the property, but it's investing in a way to help others. Mostly because I've been on the other end of not having a home or losing a home. I've been on that side, and I want to be on the side that helps people in a way that they'll always have a home, whether they're able to keep the one they have or whether they have to get something else.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Who'd like to go next? Go ahead, Marcus.
Oh, okay. So my goal was to get more than 14 or more sales. It's either on the buying or selling side, and all over at least 400,000. If I can get that, that would change. That would make 2025 like really good for me. And I put over the 400,000 mark because that's like the average mark. So even if I do get, more sales that may be underneath of that mark, those are still good. But I'm going to try to go over that 400,000 mark. And I had another goal to try to get 3 or more $1 million listings or sell $1 million home, 3 or more $1 million homes. That will also change too. So I did 2. So.
Outstanding. Use yourself. Excellent, Marcus. Thank you for sharing. And Patricia, I see your message in the chat as well. So Marcus, yours is 14 regular sales and 3 multi-million-dollar sales.
Yeah.
You can do it. 3 or more. Excellent. All right. And I see you, Patricia, 6 or more sales in 2025 to map out a plan to accomplish the goal. Excellent. Who else? Who'd like to go next? Let's see. Who haven't we heard from? Let's see. Anita, when you get a chance to share, and Darian, when you get a chance to share, I know you logged on since we've started the activity. So what I'll do is I'll tell you briefly what it is that we're doing. So as to hit the ground running in 2025, we are mapping out what are your 10 goals for 2025. And from those goals, you want to choose the one that will have the greatest positive result on your life if completed. The objective of that goal is to kind of filter through all of the distractions and identify the single most important thing that you need to be focused on in 2025. All right. So if you have to brainstorm in order to get that answer, that's perfectly fine. The purpose of the activity is for you to write it down so that you can have it. All right. Darian, I see your hand raised. Go ahead and unmute yourself and share.
Yeah, well, I just logged in and just wanted to listen in. I was actually just in a car accident and I'm waiting just to get my stuff back. So I'm just listening in between that right now.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness, are
it
you
was like
okay?
I'm fine. I got hit by two cars and it forced me into another car. So I'm just waiting for my information to get back and then I'll be on the road.
Oh my
I just
goodness,
figured while I
Darian.
wait, I can listen.
Well,
I'm
as
good. I'm
long as
good
you're
though.
safe and listening, as
Yes,
long as
man.
it's hands-free and you're not doing anything with your phone while you're driving.
Oh, I'm not even driving. I'm on the side of the road.
I am sorry to hear that somebody hit you. I'm happy to hear that you are fine.
Yes, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
You
But I
got
said,
it.
this
And thank
knowledge
you
come
for your
first.
diligence. All right. Well, then we can get that information from you later. All right. Call Mr. Porter if you need to. All right. Anybody else like to share? All right. If not, then we're going to go ahead and transition. There is a common theme, that common theme amongst all of our realty pros. In some shape, form, or fashion, that one thing is to close more deals. In some shape, form, or fashion, that one thing is to earn more income in 2025. All right. You know that Mr. Porter started months ago saying that we are going to thrive in 2025. And if you can't see, then I have opened up BrokerMint to go into your real estate business plan for 2025. Because in order for us to know where we're going, we've got to have a roadmap, right? So your business plan, as you see on there, the season of harvest, we are going to thrive in 2025 like never before. And every last one of our realty pros, I thank you for your boldness in declaring what sales numbers you want to have, even income desires and all of those things, Paula, and you even purchasing a home, maybe even as an investment or foundation to provide homes for families that need it. All of those things can absolutely be obtained through the success of your real estate business. So everything that we desire to do, if we have the money to do it, then we're able to do so. There's even a scripture in the Bible that says money answers all things, right? So what is it that we have to do so as to be able to position ourselves to have more income than we ever could have imagined in our lives? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because planning is key. But before we plan, the thing that makes us stick to our plan is the reason why we're doing it in the first place. I heard Paula say, well, her reason was that she experienced losing a home before. So she has a passion for wanting to have investments that will be able to help families so that they will not have to fear losing their home. That's a very passionate why. And your why is 95% of the reason why you achieve your goals. Your why is the reason why when you get knocked down, you get back up. Your why is the reason why when you have setbacks, you overcome them and you realize that this was just an opportunity for me to learn and grow. Your why is the reason that pushes you and gets you up out of bed in the morning. Your why is the reason that you overcome no matter what it looks like, because there's something deeper, there's something greater that is propelling you to make sure that you achieve your objectives there. So that's something that's going to be very imperative as you go through your business plans. But I really want to point out the key factors here, the keys to success, your goals. We already said your why is 95% of it. And the other 5% is just finding out how to do what it is that you desire to do and what specific actions and what skills you need in order to accomplish the goal that you have. All right. So this is going to require for you to continue and do that visualization exercise. We just did a brief version of it, but I want you guys to take this business plan. You can download it so you can type right into the business plan. If you're one that likes to print it out, then by all means you print it out. If you want to type right into it, you can do that. But that visualization and exercise, you absolutely want to come from the perspective of I earn, and you can say I earn, $500,000 in, gross commission. I weigh whatever your weight needs to be. I live wherever it is that you want to live. I drive whatever it is that you want to drive. I give whatever your goal is that you want to give. Because when we earn and we're prospering off all the things that we're doing, we want to make sure that we maintain a posture of generosity and make sure that we're giving as well. So the visualization exercise that you started today, we want to make sure that each and every last Realty Pro, you complete that in your business plan. All right. This is the wheel of life. We talk about it every single year because we are three-part beings. We are not just, work only. You have a physical, a spiritual, a mental. There are things that pertain to family, financial, business, social, fun, as well as your contribution. But there is one thing here that affects all of it, and that is your money. So when you're in a place where you are prospering in your real estate business, it will impact you positively in all of these areas, physically, mentally, spiritually, in your family, financial, of course, business, your social fund, as well as your contribution. So there's some things that we've got to know that that we are people of faith here at Porterhouse, and we make no bones about it. The Lord said it is his will above all things that we prosper and be in health, even as our soul prospers. So the key to that is our soul prosperity is tied to the external prosperity and our health. So what's our soul? Our mind, learning what we need to do, the skills, the action we need to take, our will, the will and desire and fortitude to get up and do it, no matter whether you feel like doing it or not. If you feel discouraged, you encourage yourself even in the Lord, and you get up and you do it anyway. Our emotions, if we feel like we're sad or we feel like whatever's going on, we press through it anyway. That is what our soul area is. And the word says, the Lord wills that we, above all things, that we prosper and be in health, even as our soul prospers. So what does that mean? The area of our soul, we got to make sure that we're prospering on a regular basis. In our mind, learning what we need to do in order to become a successful real estate agent. Because out of becoming a successful real estate agent inside, we're going to see the prosperity of that externally. It does not happen in reverse order. You don't just do something, you have to become something. And you become a successful real estate agent by doing exactly what all of you are doing here tonight. Plugging in, make sure you have roots in your brokerage. You're in training, you're in fellowship, you're in conversation, you're learning, you're growing, you're working with your accountability partners. You're out there in the field, you're intentional and purposeful. When you see somebody say, hey, we could use a showing agent, or hey, can you work with a client? You're the first one to the punt. You say, I'm going to absolutely work with that client no matter what. I'm going to get out there in the real estate field so that I can learn my craft, so that I can grow. Whether it's an opportunity that's a paid opportunity or one where you get mentored or you can shadow somebody, whatever that looks like, all of those are opportunities for you to grow. That's where you grow mentally, right? That's where you grow in terms of your confidence. That's where you grow in terms of everything that you'll be able to do for your client because you did it before you even had your own client. Another scripture that comes to mind for me is, if you haven't been faithful over another man's, who would commit your own unto you? So with that being said, there may be some that say, well, I don't have a client at the moment. Guess what? You have colleagues that have clients. Help somebody with the transaction they're working on. If it's a buyer side, show that buyer some properties. If it's a seller side, assist with that listing, assist with the open house, because all of those are seeds sown. And when we talk about as long as the earth remains, there will be seed, time, and harvest. All of those seeds that you sow, it is a principle, both naturally and in the spirit. You will absolutely reap a harvest over those things. Over time, on all of those things, you will reap a harvest. So let's be intentional. Find out, hey, does anybody have any buyers that they're working with? I'm available, on Saturday and Tuesday between whatever hours I can show properties. What do you do in that space? You're saturating yourself in real estate so that you're showing properties, you're getting practice, you're doing all of these things so that you're becoming the real estate agent that will yield the income that you desire to yield. Look at it like this. We know that all of us, we eat food, and at some point the food either was grown from the ground, came out of the sea, or walked or swam or something, right? And when we think about what farmers have to do, farmers sow seed. There's something that happens. They have to till the ground and do all these things, but they sow seed. So think about a seed when we think about our actions. Think about a seed that's sown and how often it has to be watered. And the sunlight has to come in and all of these things. And then over time, you yield a harvest. Why am I saying that? Because when you plant yourself, you want to be intentional to be consistent about watering yourself. You are the seed that you plant. You plant yourself. You're already planted into your brokerage. Now you're going to plant yourself and grow roots into the real estate business so that you will absolutely sprout up like a big, tall tree, and you will have fruit for seasons and generations to come because you planted yourself. And you were intentional to make sure that you sprouted roots. Why am I saying all that? Because as we go through this business plan, it's going to be imperative for you to know that there is no secret to success. The secret is your intentionality and your consistency over time. Consistency over time. I want you guys to type that into the chat. Consistency over time. And that's another way of us saying seed time and harvest. Because in our Western mindset, we have microwaves. We can order something on Amazon and get it the next day. We can send an email and it's there immediately, or text message immediately. So we've gotten into a mindset that everything is done immediately. And if we don't see immediate results, then we think something is wrong, and we can easily say, oh, well, this isn't working because something's not happening. But I am here to tell you different. I'm here to tell you very differently, because when you look around, even outside the office, at all of those tall trees that have grown, or you go to places and you look at tall trees that have all of this fruit and it grows every year, those trees didn't grow overnight. So you, as a real estate professional, we want you to give the same level of grace and consistency to you and your real estate business, so that you know, okay, I need to have a firm foundation, and I'm going to root myself in this real estate industry so that I can have my real estate investments, so that I can have the gross commission that I want every year, so that I can have the properties that I desire to have, so that I can help all of the families that I desire to help purchase, so that I can help all of the families that need to sell, so that I can help people who desire to have a place to live but thought that they would never be able to own a property. But you get that once you decide that no matter what, I am going to be successful in my real estate career, and I'm not taking no for an answer. You got to get to a point where you put your foot down and say, come what may, I'm going to focus on my real estate business. Because the key to the exercise that we did earlier is the single most positive impact on each one of those areas, aside from your spiritual life, is your financial life. Even as it pertains to your health, if your financial life is in order, you can pay for certain care, right? So with that being said, you got to have that same level of resiliency, that same level of fortitude, the same level of stick-to-itiveness, that same level of, courage in the face of whatever it is that you face, right? It makes me think about, some of the football games that we watch, and forgive me if you're not a football fan. I didn't used to be a football fan, but thanks to my husband, I watch all kinds of football games, even teams that are not ours. And when I think about some of the games that I've seen, with the Kansas City Chiefs and Pat Mahomes, you say, oh, well, oh my goodness, he fumbled that play, or what is he doing? And that move, that was not a picture perfect move. And he will go and he will make these plays, and inevitably, with all of the, failures within that space of time of that game, they come out with the win and they win the game. So what am I saying? Consistency over time. And even if you have areas where you say, I didn't do the best on that one, course correct, get back on track, go back so that you can make sure that you get those yards, reset. That's what they do between every single play. They have to reset. And that's something that we need to get used to doing as real estate professionals, and know that if I have a setback, well, it's time to reset and get started on that next play. I did great. Perfect. Let's build on that momentum. Let's redouble my efforts. Oh, I had a setback. Okay, reset. Let's move forward to the next play. But we've got to be so convinced that failure is not an option, that no matter what comes, we are determined that we are going to overcome it and get to our next. Because the only thing stopping you from success is you. You guys are in a brokerage where you have everything handed to you on a silver platter. You have so many success tools. You have more systems than you probably even want to use. You have all of these different resources and everything coming out of your ears. So you have literally every single thing that you need to be successful. And the most important aspect of that is you. What do you think? What do you feel? What do you believe? Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to drive you to do the things that we are teaching you guys to do or not. I want you guys to type a word in the chat. I want you to say reset. And for those that are in the office, I just want you to say reset. Take yourselves off of mute. I need to hear you guys. I need to make sure that you are hearing me and you're with me. I need you to say reset.
Reset.
Excellent. So for every last Realty Pro who is on the line, anything that you were not able to accomplish this year, I want you to make sure that you know it is time for you to reset. You are going to leave those things behind in yesterday, not even in 2024, because yesterday is gone. You have now, and we're looking forward to tomorrow, but you are going to reset and leave those things behind you. Anything that you say, oh, well, I wish I was able to do this, or I wish I had started that earlier. Leave all of that behind yourself. Give yourself the grace and the space to grow. Because every last one of us, we are growing consistently. And I see all your messages in the chat. Thank you. Reset, 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 consistency over time. I see you. Thank you for the interaction. I want to make sure that you're getting this. So no matter what, this is a time where we are resetting. And the purpose of this activity is so that you will be on the mark. And there was Carmon gave a wonderful illustration today, and then Mr. Porter followed up with the image that he gave. So I was hoping that Mr. Porter would be able to share that image with us, but I will just reiterate what Carmon said about, being on the mark, if you will, because I said they are both all up in my notes. Carmon was talking about, there was a saying, and I'm sure all of us can relate to this. We used to say, on your mark, get set, go. And what most people, like I said, in our Western mindset, we want to take out the get set. We just want to say, on your mark, go. Or on your mark, have. On your mark, be. But there is a very important space in between there. That's the get set. So what we're doing, we are resetting so that we can get set, so that we can thrive in 2025. Because it's absolutely our season of harvest, and you have a part to play. That part that you have to play is your consistency over time. And that is what is going to yield results. It brings to mind for me a scripture that says, I'll paraphrase, the race is not given to the swift or the battle to the strong, but to him that endures to the end. What is that talking about? Consistency over time, diligence, faithfulness. No matter what, even if he had setbacks, even if he wasn't the fastest or the strongest, being faithful to persevere to the end. Seed, time, and harvest. During these holiday months, I want for you guys to start on the one thing that we're talking about for 2025. I don't want you to wait until January 2nd. And I'm intentionally leaving out the first because we know that's a holiday and most people aren't going to be doing anything regarding video, business on the holiday. So I want you absolutely to get started this month with that one thing. And how do you get started? If your goal is to close 2 properties a month, how do you strategize so that you can close 2 properties a month? If your goal is to have a minimum of 3, multi-million-dollar property sales, how do you do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's go back to our business plan because all of this is very much intentional and all of this has been plotted out for you guys. And I want to make sure that you see the value in the information that you have at your disposal. All right. So I'm moving forward from the wheel of life. I'm going to skip past these exercises where you have to go and, think about your long-term goals. One thing I will say is with that list of the 10 goals that you would like to achieve, we're identifying just one of them, and that's the one you're going to start on. But you're not throwing away the other 9. Because when you finish with that one, what do you think you're going to do next? You're going to go on to the next one. But we're going to take our focus from this year and we're going to extrapolate that same thing into 2025. So you're not working on 10 things at one time. You're only working on one thing at a time. And that is what the strategy is going to be. Okay. So I'm scrolling down this business plan and you see all of this space for your personal goals. And it talks about long-term and short-term. You can fill them in there. It talks about your business goals in terms of days worked and all that good stuff. But here's where I'm going. I'm going to the making it easy, breaking down the numbers page. Because we can talk about number of closed deals or we can talk about a number of commission. But what I want to hear us talk about more specifically is what does that look like in terms of prospecting, in terms of hours, in terms of time and commitment. What does that look like in order to accomplish it? All right. So here is where I'm going to have your interaction as well. I'm going to have you guys to read. If you can take one little paragraph at a time. And for the shorter paragraphs, you can do 2 of those at a time. We're going to walk through this page because I want it to be crystal clear for every last one of us before we leave here this evening. Making it easy, breaking down the numbers. If somebody would, let me know if you're going to come off of mute because I want to have you to go ahead and start reading this. If you're in the office, let me know beforehand so that we don't have feedback. If it's somebody that's on Zoom. Okay, let me go ahead and mute. That way there won't be any feedback. Go ahead.
Okay, making it easy, breaking down the numbers. The following are statistics formed based on tracking agents from top producers to new and creating guidelines for your performance. Below is an example. The average sale price is $300,000. At 3% commission, one side only. Huh?
That's an old number. It's 444,000 now. So
Oh, okay. So that equals 9,000 times 80% agent split equal approximately $7,200. So at 100,000 in earnings goal, at $7,200 per transaction equals 14 transactions, sides, deals, ends, etc.
Pause right there for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much, Jana, for reading that. Can you guys hear me? All right, perfect. So with what Gina read, what are your thoughts about that? When you see how many closed transactions you need in order to get to 6 figures as an agent, what do you think about that? Go ahead.
When I see this, it makes it very very digestible. And like when we talk about Realty Talks, these are like the breadcrumbs that I was saying that you kind of give your buyers to when you are talking about a transaction, know exactly what it takes to get to that goal, and this draws it out in specific detail exactly. Actually, I guess I've seen this before because my goal actually was 14 or more transactions this year. So it puts it in perspective for you, and it instead of just having that one just saying it, it makes it real.
Outstanding. Thank you so much for sharing that, Marcus. Now, what I want you guys to do is, not sure if you heard, but when Gina finished reading, one of the things that I said right offhand was, these are old numbers, guys, because the average price of a house in our area has gone way up since then. The average price of a property is over $440,000. So as an example, I want you guys to use $440,000, and I want you to do this exact same formula and tell me what your gross commission is going to be if you sold 14 properties. So $440,000 times 0.03, and then multiply that by 14. Yep, $440,000 times your 3% commission. And we know on the listing side, we get 3.5%. Now multiply that by 14. So if you do 14 transactions, you got it. So that's $185,000 for doing the same amount of transactions that this one that we would have had to do when the property prices were lower. You guys see the power in the market and how much things have appreciated? Now I want to do this again because I want to make sure this is perfectly clear for us. On the listing side of the transaction, we get 3.5%. So now I want you guys to do those numbers. We get 3.5 to 4% on the listing side. And Mr. Porter and I get it on the buyer side as well. 3.5 to 4% is what we get for our transaction. All right. All right, so let's do that. I want you guys to know these numbers like the back of your hand because I need this to make sense to you. So let's just take that same $440,000, multiply that times 3.5, so 0.035. Yep, then take that and multiply by 14. So for the same amount of transactions with today's property appreciation and the 3.5% that porterhouse listing agents get, your gross commission is $215,600. Did everybody get that number? And does everybody see how that's done? That should be very straightforward, but I want to make sure that we don't leave anybody behind. Drop something in the chat or come off of mute, but I want to hear your thoughts on that. This is very important. All right. So now we're talking about something that is doable. Like you heard Marcus say, these are breadcrumbs. So you mean to tell me all I need to do is devise a marketing strategy so that I can close 14 deals and I will have 200, you will have $215,600? What could you do with that in 2025? All right. So then the question becomes, is it worth it for you to complete this business plan and be consistent over time so that you can yield the results that you're looking for? All right. So we've talked about what we need, and this is actually going to be $215,600. So just ignore that $100,000 because we know what that real number is. Now we're going to say, okay, what does that need to look like in terms of my activities so that I can get there? I know what my goal is, but now how do I make it specific? How do I make it measurable? How do I make it attainable, relevant, right? Let's take a look. Gina read the first part. Let's have somebody else to take the next few little segments and walk us through this. Let's have somebody that's on Zoom. Because all of us in the office, I want to make sure that we don't have any feedback. So if we have somebody on Zoom that will reset, unmute yourself and read that for us. I see your message, Marcus. I like it. I take it that you like those numbers. Let's see. Who do we have that will go ahead and read that to us? All right, we're going to keep moving. We'll keep moving forward. So we'll get somebody from the office to read it.
You want me to share my screen?
Yes, please. It's something. Can you guys see my screen? Okay.
There
let
are
me-
these black boxes that keep popping up over the screen, shaded areas.
Okay, thank you for that. Not sure what's going on there, but we're going to have Miss Anita to share her screen. The 2025 business plan. Perfect. All right, so while Miss Anita is sharing her screen, I want to hear some feedback from you guys. What are your thoughts? Over $215,000 worth of gross commission income from only 14 transactions. What do you think about that?
I think I need to do more than 14 transactions.
You can do as many as you'd like. If you want to aim for 25 in 2025, that's even better. Let's break this down so that whatever your aim is, you will know exactly what you need to do in order to get there. All right. So Gina read that first segment with 14 transactions. Now I want somebody to take the next 3 little sections. Come on, Paula, read it for us.
Okay, where are we? I'm sorry, I'm on
Start with
call,
since
so I'm
take
trying
it.
to work and do this at the same time.
Then we can get somebody else to read it. No worries. You just listen in. Come on, Marcus. Start with since taking more listings.
Okay. Since taking more listings is the recipe for success in real estate, the ratio should be 40, 40, what did you say, divided by 60 divided by 40, 60-40 ratio. Listings taken / buyers sales equals 9 listings sold, 5 buyers sales. 2-1 ratio. The ratio means for every 2 listings you take, you'll sell 1. Therefore, to sell 9 listings, you'll need to take 18. Sell 9 listings, you need to take 18 listings.
Okay, go to the next one.
Okay. 2-1 ratio. The ratio means for every 2 listing appointments you go on, you'll list 1. Therefore, to list 18, you'll need to go on 36 listing appointments. 5-1 ratio. This ratio means for every 5 leads you generate, you will get an appointment. Therefore, to book 36 appointments, you'll need to generate 180 leads. 12-1 ratio means every 12 people you talk to, contacts, or you'll get a lead. Therefore, you need to generate 180 leads, and you'll need 2,000. 2,106, 2,100. I don't know why. Wow, 2,160 contacts.
Pause right there for a moment. I need to move down just so. It's okay. So Marcus just gave us the blueprint. So we know exactly what our contacts need to look like. We know exactly what our ratios are. Does anybody have any thoughts about those numbers before we move down to the conclusion of this? What are your thoughts right offhand with looking at the number of leads, appointments, and contacts that you need to have? Tell me what you're thinking. You can drop it in the chat or unmute yourselves. If you're in the office, go ahead and share. Go ahead. It's okay. You can.
So for me, it seems like, and this is just, I may be off 1 or 2, it appears to be out of the 365 days a year, approximately 3 people per day that you would talk to if you're talking to somebody every day to get that 3 to 4 people a day. If you're talking just maybe 5 days a week, and you got your weekends and stuff that you're doing other stuff, then it seems like it would be approximately 5 people you would talk to schedule to get to that number so that we'll have enough in the pipeline to keep going.
I love how you're thinking, Gina. Mute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I love how you're thinking, Gina. All right, so now that you've heard Gina say that, I want somebody to read this very last paragraph, and then there's a sentence and almost a half following it. And read it with this mindset. We started out talking about us being three-part beings. We have all these different facets of life, so it's not just business, right? So we have to have something that allows for work-life balance. We have to have something that allows for vacation time. We have to have something that allows for family and the grandbabies and the children and the nieces and nephews and, you know, husbands, wives, or girlfriends or boyfriends or whomever. You have to have something that the fiancés, or you got to have something that allows for life, right? So with that being said, I want to have somebody to go ahead and read the paragraph there. Anita, if you would read that for us. Okay. Then you go back and I'll read it. We're going to tag team it. Okay, it's okay. Just go back. We're about to get to the punchline, so I hope you guys are dialed in. There we go. All right. So remember, we're talking about having a good quality of life. So think about it this way. At the beginning of the year, one of the first things that Mr. Porter and I do is we plan that 4 weeks out of the year, they are going to be vacation weeks. 4 weeks every year, and we want for each and every last Realty Pro to do the same. It is imperative for your health. It's imperative for your productivity, your family relationships, and all those things, your mental, state, all of those things that you take vacation. So guess what? This action plan right here, it allows for that. Because if you take 4 weeks of vacation this year, 1 per quarter, that leaves 11 months left to work business. Also, since you might only want to work 20 days a month, that leaves 220 working days for the year. So that's 11 months, only working 20 days a month. So I love the fact that Gina was already thinking about taking off on the weekends and all that good stuff, because we absolutely need to have at least a day of rest, and you have to have vacations and your family time. So let's take that big number of 2,160 and see what we can do with that. When you divide 2,160 into 220 working days, that equals 10 contacts a day. And you're only working 220 days out of 365 days. How does that sound to you guys? I'm getting all head nods. Does it sound doable? All right. And at 8 to 12 contacts per hour, that equates to 1 to 1.5 hours of daily prospecting to achieve your income goal. And that says 100,000, but we know that that's $215,600. So for 1 to 1.5 hours of prospecting, only 220 days per year, you will be able to reach that income goal. What do you guys think of when you see how that number breaks down? Tell me what your thoughts are. Is it doable? Tell me what you're thinking. More bite-sized. Gina said it's more bite-sized.
I think
about
that it
you
makes it seem like it's, like you said, more doable. It's doesn't seem as hard as sometimes I think we make it seem.
I love what you just said, Paula. I love it. And I'm glad it's on recording. It is doable, guys. It's not as hard as we make it seem. Don't look at the big number. Anita said, don't look at the big number. Look at that bite-sized doable number, an hour to an hour and a half of daily prospecting to achieve an income goal. And that's $215,600. So that is the big thing that I want us to have as our takeaway, because everybody has a different income goal. But let me ask you this, even for those of our dual career agents, do you have an hour to an hour and a half a day for 220 days out of 365? Can you commit that to your real estate business? I need a thumbs up from everybody who has the ability to commit 1 to 1.5 hours of daily prospecting for only 220 days a year to your real estate. I need you to put a thumbs up. I need to know who we have that's willing to be diligent so that they can get those income goals. I see you, Patricia. I see you, Porter Claus. I see the people who are, I see you, Gina. I saw your thumb, Marcus. Let's see. I need to make sure that we have everybody participating. So if you haven't had a chance, I need you to put a thumbs up or put something in the chat, because we don't want to leave you behind. This is, I see you. I see your messages in the chat. Excellent. I see you, Talita. Perfect. All right. See you, Paula. Excellent. Did we have you, Patricia? We want to make sure that you are in the game as well, because remember what we talked about was consistency over time. This is consistency, calling. I see you, Patricia. Excellent. We have everybody here, including everybody in the office. This is only 1 to 1.5 hours, 225 days a year. I want you guys to chew on that. So as you're doing your business plans for 2025, you need to take them with that number in mind. So you're going to take that and extrapolate that. We'll go, I don't want to give you too much this evening, but we'll go through that process when we start doing your business plans. But that is all you need to do in order to be a 6-figure income agent in 2025. All right, guys. Mr. Porter, I know you had a demonstration that you wanted to do. I want to give you a moment to do that before we kind of conclude and get some, insight and feedback and questions and all that good stuff from everybody on the line. Yes, you can share your screen.
Can y'all see my screen? All right. What's happening in Realty Pros? So Jasmine is really talking about us getting off to a really good start. But one of the most important things to getting off a good start is to finish strong. When we talk about finishing strong, this picture illustrates what finishing strong looks like. It seems like the guy that's not on the starting line is starting from behind, but he already has an advantage. And we love being Porterhouse. I'm telling you, I love Porterhouse because at the end of the year, it seems like for me, we go crazy. I've been busier than a one-arm wallpaper hanger in these last few days before Christmas, trying to get people into their Christmas homes. Had a closing on the 13th, have a lady I'm about to write a contract for tonight. Just trying to get things done. We have so many listing appointments. We've done one just today, had another couple of people that we're bringing in, and just the opportunity to meet people in the Christmas season. I was sharing at Realty Talks today, for those of you that did, that this is just some of the conversation starters that you can have while you're meeting people and prospecting. So I'm gonna take that screen down because I want to show you something. I want to ask a question, and I want you all to give me some participation. Let me see. Can you all see me? All right. What am I holding in my hand? Somebody tell me what I'm holding in my hand. Come off mute, tell me what I'm holding in my hand.
Business card.
Business cards.
You said business cards. Go ahead. What else?
Future business, money,
Marketing.
marketing,
Okay.
all of that.
Right. So I'm holding seed in my hand. This is all I have. This is all we needed when we started our business. We didn't have a lot of the fancy technology. We didn't have a lot of the other strategies that you all have now, but we had the gift of gab. And we knew how to pass out some business cards. Well, Jasmine used to challenge me when I first got into the business to pass out cards every day, and I couldn't beat it. I don't think I can to this day. Can y'all hear me? Okay. But one of the things that I quickly learned is that right here in my hand, I'm holding about $35,000. That's what $35,000 looks like. Might not look like it to you, and that's because maybe you believe what you see, but I see what I believe. I believe that this is 35,000. I pray over it and I hold it up, and then when I pass them out, I'm putting seed in the ground. I don't know when those seeds are going to return, but Jasmine told you all that we truly believe that as long as the earth remains, there's going to be seed, there's going to be time, and when you get that altar and that check comes in, that's the harvest. But that don't mean you eat the whole harvest, okay? And a lot of times people make the mistake of once they get a little check, they put their feet up and they go home and they feel like, oh, I'm a multi-thousandaire. They go home and relax. And anybody who's worked around me or been around me, I don't mean to be mean or pushy, but I say so. Do it again. Do it again. This is what we do. So it shouldn't be. I'm glad you closed. Close another one. Because a lot of times we take a victory lap. We don't have no time to do victory laps. We have time to pass out more seed. We have because time is happening. Time is going to continue happening. Life going to keep lifing, and there's going to be days when you don't have an opportunity to pass out your cards, but you got seed in the ground, and that's the days when you'll get the phone calls that you least expect, or people will refer you just because you were out having conversation with them. I was at a Christmas party, and some of you all who were here this earlier today, you heard me tell a story, but it was so exciting for me. But when we go to Christmas parties, we know the crowds that we're amongst, or even if we don't know who's there, we're looking, we're out seeking who we might talk to or just communicate with or collaborate with. It doesn't matter who they are. And so we went to this Christmas party. We bought our gifts. We came in. We said hello to everybody. We introduced ourselves. We're the porters, blah, blah, blah. We don't immediately start talking about real estate, but in the back of our mind, we're going to talk about real estate. Okay, we're going to talk about real estate at some point during that night. Somehow, some way, we're going to artfully insinuate ourselves into a real estate conversation. And so we got to the countertop. What's that thing called? The kitchen island. So there's people standing around the kitchen island, charcuterie board. So I'm paying attention to the charcuterie board, and because I'm trying to figure out I don't know what I'm gonna eat off of that thing. It look like a healthy stuff, Marcus. I don't know how much I want to eat off of that, but so I picked up and then next thing you know, I talking to a guy, and he was saying he just retired from federal police officer, and now he works for Homes.com. When he said that, Jasmine looked at me. I looked at Jasmine and said, we know Homes.com. We're not very happy with Homes.com. Homes.com is not very friendly to real estate agents. We had this thing called HomeSnap, the Homes.com boy. And Homes.com is not better than HomeSnap. And we let this man have it. I mean, we had a Christmas party, but one of the things that you can rest assured about Jasmine, she said, we're not gonna tell you no lie. We're gonna just keep it gangster with you. And this man's face turned red, but he was listening. He was listening. Well, by the time it was all said and done, he was talking about how Homes.com launched and that he was at the Super Bowl up in the box seats with the CEOs and all that. And we said, well, the next time you see them, you let them know they need to call us. And he said, give me one of your cards. So we waiting for the call for the people at Homes.com. Now we're gonna tell them about their product. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna tell them that we want the Home Snap version back. We would tell them about all of the good features, the rapid CMA, all the wonderful things we was able to do, and we want it back. But the whole time we was thinking, I'm saying, I wonder how big the home is of the CEO, and I wonder who his real estate agent is. Because we're not going just for the small potatoes. We want to get a deal with Homes.com. You just have to have confidence, people. You have to have confidence. Confidence is a word, and it's not just one word. It's a word that's made up of words. One word is con, and it doesn't mean to deceive, it means with. Kind of like the Spanish word with, con. It means with. And then fidelis, meaning faithfulness. So you have to move and act with faithfulness at all times. We're telling you some of the things that we've done. You hear us talk about being believers and everything, but everything we've done with faithfulness. We've done full of the faith that's in us that we can do what everybody else can do. Anything that Jasmine and I have accomplished, you can accomplish. Anything that the agent of the year has accomplished, you can accomplish. One of the most important things that I tell anybody, the same thing that was told to me, and I tell it to everybody, is do whatever Jasmine tells you to do, and you'll be very successful. Some of you all want to go out and want to hand out your $1,000 seeds here and there, but I'll tell you one thing, she's told a number of people, one of which is right here in this room right now, to make phone calls to $1 million listings. And some people have been faithful in doing it, and many people have been successful in getting $1 million listings. And some people, when they get that $1 million listing, it actually turns into two. And then the neighbor from across the street, they just want to know who they can trust. Well, you sold my neighbor's house. Can you sell my house? Now you got another $1 million listing and another $1 million purchase. One person who came to Jasmine and said, listen, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've done everything in real estate, but I really never been good at cold calling. Jasmine said, well, don't waste your time calling small potatoes, call the big potatoes, call the $1 million people. She called $1 million listing and got it. She sold that $1 million listing, helped those people buy $1 million house. That's $2 million in commissions that we paid to her. Then the neighbor across the street who saw her sign called her, and she sold that $1 million listing and then help them purchase another house. That's $4 million off of one phone call. If you lazy, this is not the business for you. We all got the same real estate license. Mine is hanging in that room right across, the same as yours, the same as anybody else. But with faithfulness and with belief, I look at my cards and I look at that real estate license. And the question to you is my real estate license worth more than your real estate license? I think we all took the same class, passed the same test, got the same license. The only difference is you got to be confident. And you got to be confident in yourself enough to get up, put your clothes on, put your boots on, put your jackets on, put your hands on these business cards, lift them up and hold them to the Lord and go out and talk to people. And even if you don't know what to say, guess what? You know how to call people who do know what to say. Say, let me get my broker on the phone. Let me get my associate broker on the phone. Let me get my office manager on the phone. Let me get Mr. Porter on the phone. We will talk for you. We're a family here. We don't want anything to be lost. You have a team. You have a family. It's not a dog eat dog business. We didn't build Porterhouse that way. We are a family. So if you have anything that you need to accomplish, I tell you one thing, if we don't know it, we're going to find somebody who does, and we're going to get it done. So listen, people, let's remember that little photo I put up for you. I'm going to put it up one more time. All right. Let's start 2024 in preparation for 2025. And with faithfulness, with confidence, go out, grab these business cards. Because I'm gonna tell you something, I'm supposed to be ordering you some new business cards every year. I haven't ordered business cards for hardly anybody every year except Miss Pat and a few other people. And I'm gonna give Miss Pat notoriety because I almost have to get her business cards every 2 years or so. So she's already halfway on pace. Jasmine, I can't order business cards quick enough for her. Y'all think we making this up? I cannot order business cards quicker. She has 2 boxes under the thing now because I'm tired of ordering. But I'm trying to keep up with it. But if we learn this method and we're consistent at it, guys, you're talking about $100,000, $200,000. That's really small potatoes in real estate. You can do so much more. You can do so much more. It really takes a lot of work and a lot of hustle. Get the listings, get your buyers, get yourself together, learn your scripts, do what you have to do. Because we want you all to be multi-millionaires, not multi-thousandaires. Don't take a victory lap when you get a settlement, do it again and again and again and again. And once you have one of those banner years, have faith that you're going to have another one and another one. And ever since I left my 6-figure job to come here to work with Jasmine Porter, the money that I was making, it's not real money. But you all have the same license I have. You can make the same kind of money we make. You just got to do the same thing I did. Listen to Jasmine Porter. And I'm not saying that because she's my wife. I'm saying that because I truly believe she's the best broker in the United States of America, if not in the world. I mean it. So that's my heart to you. Take it or leave it. That's all I wanted to say.
Mr. Porter, thank you so much for those kind words. And I hope that you guys, I truly hope that you take to heart what we're sharing with you this evening. Because that image, that cartoon image depicts exactly what our goal is to do this evening. Like we said, on your mark, get set. So that getting set posture that's going to catapult you into a tremendous 2025 is what we are going to do. So complete your assignment, guys. You need to identify the single most important thing that would have the greatest positive impact on your life. Write down the steps that you need in order to get there and start working on it now. So every single day, you can have Christmas off. You can have New Year's off. Aside from that, you have 12 other days this year. Is that correct? 14 days left in the year. So give or take. So you can take 2 days off, but every day aside from those days, do one thing that will get you closer to your goal. Just one, not 1,000, just one. Do I have a commitment from everybody who's on the line with us this evening to do that? Excellent. All right. So that is what our key takeaway is for this evening. I'm glad that you guys were able to carve out the time to join us, and we are looking forward to a tremendous 2025 for every last one of our Realty pros that has been faithful, diligent, consistent. You're resetting, you're moving forward, and you're going to make more money in 2025 than you've ever made before in real estate. Stick to it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And with that, I turn it back over to you, Anita.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, we have been in church all day today. You remember how when you were little and you used to go to church early in the morning and then you break for a meal and then you back at church at night? Oh my goodness, I'm telling you for real. We have been in church all day and it's been so absolutely encouraging. And I'm sure, I know that I am not the only one who appreciates this opportunity that we have been given. So I want something Ms. Porter told me to do just recently, because I always, they know how I am, right? They tell me to do something. I'm like, I don't know if you were talking, because they always talk about how they heard the Lord, and especially Mr. Porter, if before my coffee, that's when he talks to me. I'm like, go drink some coffee, and so they were like, oh, Miss Anita, well, what about this? What? And what I thank God for, I thank God that I see their heart enough. I know their heart enough that I'm comfortable to follow their lead, right? To follow their instructions. Now, I'm not saying that I don't do that with fear, with a level of fear, but Miss Porter's like, well, but just do it in fear, so and fear is just, like the unknown. You just don't know. And boy, we just have such issues with rejection and everything. And I'm telling you, it's not as, I'm saying this now until they give me the next assignment. It's not as bad as what you would think it is. So you guys, I want to challenge you guys to go in fear, but understanding, that God hasn't given you the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind, right? And we walk by faith and not by sight. In the face of, yes, in the face of fear, we are walking. And so you guys, I just want to encourage you guys to, do something different than what you've done before. Be courageous enough to do something different than what you've done before. And I promise you, you'll get something that you did not receive in the past. Okay. You guys, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Marcus. Merry Christmas, Gina. Merry Christmas, Porter Claus. Merry Christmas, Paula. Merry Christmas, Talita. Merry Christmas, everybody. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Enjoy your families. And we will be back the new year. if you guys need anything, please don't think that, oh, it's the holiday, so I don't want to reach out to anyone. Please reach out, okay? You guys take care. Oh, I don't know how they getting all those little hearts and all that stuff in there. Oh, they're gonna have to teach me that. Good night.
Good night.
Tell Fear to
Good
shut up.
night, everyone. Mr. Porter said, tell Fear to shut up and do it anyway. That's right. We walk by faith. We overcome any obstacle. We don't care. You all are the best. Have a good night. Merry Christmas. And we'll see you soon.